This one's for my dreamers and my doers. The ones who crave joy and fulfillment and creativity, but also have that deep inner fire to build something meaningful and who are not afraid to put in the work to get there. If you're someone who wants it all, beauty, success, joy, but also tend to burn out easily, feel pressure to perform, and struggle to enjoy the process, this one's for you. I used to struggle a lot with life and work balance, wanting to do my very best but eventually getting so wrapped up in it that I burnt myself out. But I've been learning that enjoyment and ambition don't have to cancel each other out. In fact, they support each other. The problem is that a lot of us have trained our nervous systems to live in chronic stress instead of the healthy short bursts of acute stress which we can easily recover from. If you're not familiar with the concept, acute stress is what helps you in moments of urgency. So like when you're late for the bus or you're working on a project with a tight deadline. But when you're ambitious, you tend to live in go mode all the time. Even when you're resting, you're still thinking about what's next. That means that your body is in constant fight or flight mode, and because stress adds up, that means that you suddenly can't handle those small everyday challenges. This can result in anxiety, emotional outbursts, panic attacks, and an array of physiological symptoms like heart palpitations or brain fog. And that is why recovery is so important, because without it, you actually cannot make sound decisions. You literally become more productive when your body feels safe. Animals can teach us about this as well. If you ever seen an animal in the wild after a traumatic event, they literally shake it off. After a gazelle's been, say, chased by a lion, they literally stomp the trauma off and release it from their bodies so that they can move on. But humans usually don't. We suppress it or overthink or analyze it and try to come up with a reason as to why we feel bad, when in reality our body just needs to let go. Because energy eventually has to go somewhere, so that tightness and anxiety you feel, it's just your body trying to express what was never released. So in the body, this can show up as back pain or hip tightness, especially in women. So when you feel that tight, restless feeling, it's not always a sign to push through. It might just be a sign from your body saying that, hey, I need to release this. So some things you can try for this is somatic exercises like Tai Chi or yoga, stretching your hip flexors, there's some great ones on YouTube, journaling, meditation, speech therapy, EFT tapping, or dancing is also super effective. You just gotta find what works for you, because the law of equilibrium says that after a high there needs to be a low. So after you've been stressed for a while, your body needs to self-regulate. And once it's done that, it's back at the perfect level and ready to go again. So it's not about losing motivation, it's just about getting back to that baseline so that your energy can flow again and you can keep going. Something that I try to remember as well is to trust your future self. Because just because you let go of this project or thought for a moment doesn't mean that your future self will not remember it. They're not dumber than you. You will not have forgotten everything just because you take your mind off of it for a little bit. And if letting go of control feels too uneasy for you right now, write it down. Let it go for a while. You can do something else and pick it up later. So relaxation is not laziness, it's creative fuel. You know how you get your best ideas in the shower or when you're out for a walk or in the car or right before bed? Yeah, that doesn't happen in fight or flight. You cannot access flow state from a frantic mind and a stressed out body. That's why planning ahead and planning your days matters so much. Not because you need to push more things in, but to avoid decision fatigue. Because the fewer micro decisions you have to make, the more room you leave for creativity and intuition. As someone who's multi-passionate and I have many avenues of pursuit, I found that I literally have to guide myself to do one thing at a time so I don't get too scattered and waste my energy. Because even small choices pulls energy from the same tank that you use for creativity and productivity. So organization, even though it sounds rigid, is not about limiting yourself. It's about making sure you're not wasting energy on being confused. When you have a proper plan for your work, your meals, your tasks, even your morning routine, you save energy for the good stuff. So next, let's talk about intuition. Your body always knows. It knows what it wants to eat, it knows when it wants to move, it knows when it wants to rest. And in the same way, your mind knows what to do next, even when your rational brain hasn't figured it out yet. There is so much power in trusting your intuition. It's like that subtle feeling you get when you just know who just texted you. Or when something tells you to stop and a bike rushes past where you would have been. That literally happened to me the other day. That's your nervous system and your subconscious mind at work. And the more you regulate and slow down, the easier it is to hear it. I really think that getting to know your body and seeing how it can actually move on its own when you let it makes you trust your intuitive mind more as well. So exercises to get more in touch with your intuitive side could be morning pages, so journaling first thing in the morning, shadow work questions, asking yourself the question why over and over again until you get to the root of a problem, or simply just sleeping on it. I think sometimes we just need to focus on something else completely to let our brains just self-regulate, and it does that on its own. It's not something you have to force, and it gives you some fresh perspective as well. Now I know the majority of my audience is female, so hopefully this resonates with the most of you. But either way, everyone has more of a masculine and a feminine side. The masculine is more of the productive framework, the drive, the ambition, the willingness to work hard and take action. But then you have the feminine side, which is more about intuition, enjoyment, enjoying the process, and coming up with creative takes. So when your natural state is ambitious and forward moving, it's easy to forget to nurture your feminine energy. So intentionally building small rituals can remind you to stay soft, and it's also just really fun. So you can wear something nice, wear a dress, get some new jewelry, listen to music and dance, breathe deeply, move slowly, and enjoy the moment. Let yourself feel present and beautiful and grateful. Again, we want to have fun and enjoy our lives, even though we are working hard to get to our goals. Tiny habits like this can bring you back into your body, and when you're in your body, you're in flow. So to conclude, yes, you can hustle like a girl boss and live like a princess. You can work hard and protect your peace. You can be feminine and masculine. And you can have big goals and enjoy your life. And what's even more, sensitivity is a strength. Let's not forget that. Sensitive nervous systems make you intuitive. They make you empathetic and creative. You understand people's problems and you can help them solve them. It makes you nuanced and relatable. And if you can express your sensitivity, that is also such a powerful thing. So the whole thing is you don't have to choose between ambition and recovery. You just have to let them take turns. Because when your nervous system feels safe, your potential becomes limitless. So that brings us to the end of this episode. My camera is dying, so I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. Make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and if you want, you can follow me on Instagram at @ylvasands. As always, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, take care. Love you lots. Bye!